respected Dean of the college, and dear students. Today, it really gives me butterflies while speaking in front of the students. Although I had been speaking in front of various engineers, architects, and archaeologists, but the medical student and the school student, first time I'm speaking, so it will be a little boring to you guys, but I'll try it and make it very simple. Yes. Sun Temple Konark. Sun Temple Konark is heartbeat of Oriya's. Wherever I go in Orissa, everybody asks me what is Sun Temple, what's happening in Sun Temple. Sun Temple Konark is a unique temple which is visualized and constructed by our ancestors like a huge chariot coming out of sea, having 12 pairs of wheels, which is a trademark and symbolism of Oriya architecture, ancient architecture, as well as the Kalingan architecture. It's a unique temple which is constructed on the bank of Chandrabhaga river, but now Chandrabhaga has receded and submerged. Now, my presentation, the structure of presentation will be the vision and introduction, brief about ASI and the past conservation works, Sun Temple Konark's conservation history, and roadmap ahead. ASI's vision is to explore the vast cultural, historical, and architectural history of the country and preservation and conservation of monuments for the posterity. Whatever monuments which we are seeing right now, for example, our own Konark, it was never like that. If you see old ancient pictures of some 100 years back, you will surprise how much effort Archaeological Survey of India has given in preserving the conservation, doing the conservation of Sun Temple Konark, providing authentic cultural history to the student, researchers, and planners. Our guiding document which guides us to preserve and conserve the archaeological monuments or historical monuments are Conservation Manual, which was made in 1923, plus Archaeological Works Code in 1972, and National Conservation Policy 2014, and a National Conservation Policy for excavated sites. Conservation background. Conservation is a continuous effort made to preserve, conserve the ancient monument by means of various kinds of mending work, pinning, grouting, as well as replacing your damaged stones in the particular structure. ASI has a diverse range of monuments. You can understand the technicality and versatility needed for the conservation of the monument is enormous, since we have got rock shelters, we have got brick temples, we have got stone temples, we have got caves such as Ajanta, Ellora, plus rock shelters like our Bhimbetka, structural temple of stones like our Jagannath Temple, Puri, Lingaraj Temple, Sun Temple Konark, brick temples of Vishnupur in West Bengal. Likewise, we have got various monuments and other archaeological sites such as Harappan sites in Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and one of the few of the famous sites you must have read during your school days, and students of schools must be reading about Lothal, about Dholavira, about Kalibanga. All those sites have been discovered, excavated by Archaeological Survey of India, and it has been preserved and kept it for the future generation to go there and do various other research. Archaeological Survey of India having the structures which are made of brick, mud, stones, and stones of various kinds of stones. One historical conservation work which Archaeological Survey of India has done in Gujarat, that is Rani Ki Vav, which is now a World Heritage Monument under the aegis of Archaeological Survey of India. This is the first picture which I am showing you. This was the condition of, see this. This is the first picture where you can see some structure is there, but it's half buried. Now further going down, excavating, we found much more bigger structure. See, this is the sculptures which are coming out of the excavation, scientific clearance. Now this has come during the excavation. At present, this is the condition, how we are maintaining it, how we are preserving it for the future generation. Now, the Sun Temple Konark. Sun Temple Konark was built in 13th century, and after 13th century, say till up to 15th, 16th century, it was continuous in use. In 19th century, some navigators, the mariners, has reported, Governor of Bengal, that this temple is falling and it has to be preserved because it is a marker while they navigate in the sea. So the conservation works started on the request of the mariners in 1880, and it has continued. Till then, in 1903, what happens? The British government has taken up the challenge to conserve it, and the course of conserving it, what they have done, they have cleared all the debris in and around the temple, and for conserving it, they fill in with the sand by giving a lining of 15 feet wall inside the Jagmohan. Main superstructure was already fallen. In 1984, the Sun Temple Konark was declared as UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it was the matter of pride not only to the Indians but the Oriya people, since it was declared as a World Heritage Monument under the criteria 1, 3 and 4, which is an exceptional and outstanding work of art and history. This was the condition in 80s, where you can see Adhisthana, this lower portion, lower platform, is badly damaged, and the stones of this Adhisthana and the staircase are missing. Archaeological Survey of India has provided the staircase of the eastern side by conserving it. Now here you can see the Adhisthana, where this pairs of these wheels are there. The upper portion of wheel is missing and some stones are missing, and we have provided with the complete wheel and the masonry of the platform, which is plain in nature. This is an archaeological policy to provide plain stones where there are missing stones. That is why you people must be reading in various newspapers, various medias, that Konark is becoming plain by removing stones. But it is not true. It's a conservation policy wherein there is no stones were available, no carvings were available. We have provided plain stones to give a strength and proper structural strengthening to the structure. But wherever it is required, we have provided. And you can see the wheel which was half missing, we had completed the wheel by way of mending. The wheel which you are right now going and seeing, it has been provided and mended in 80s and 90s by Archaeological Survey of India. Similarly, there was so much of pressure on Archaeological Survey of India through various agencies and various scholars to think of the removing sand and doing proper conservation to the Sun Temple Konark. In this way, Archaeological Survey of India has conducted one international conference in 2010, wherein it has been decided that certain documentation work has to be done, in situ conservation has to be done, proper material matching and original to the structure has to be done. Similarly, continuous scientific monitoring has to be done, which has been thoroughly implemented, and in that Archaeological Survey of India pull in Central Building Research Institute, Roorkee, to suggest us the ways and measures how to remove sand from the Sun Temple Konark. The CBRI was entrusted with the work of providing proper guidelines and proper suggestions to remove the sand and conserve the Sun Temple Konark, in which they have done several scientific research by means of GPR studies, by means of laser scanning, by means of endoscopic studies, by means of doing core studies, plinth studies, and they have come up with 2 volumes of report, and in which they have suggested us, Archaeological Survey of India, to, since the sand which was filled up to the top of the Jagmohan from the inside has settled down up to the 17 feet. There is a vacuum of 17 feet which needs to be refilled. This was a suggestion which was not agreed by Archaeological Survey of India and various other scholars. These are the laser scanning endoscopic studies conducted by CBRI, and this is the condition inside the Jagmohan. These are some stones from the inside in the endoscopic studies, which has revealed that veneering of the inner core of the Jagmohan of Sun Temple Konark is very debilitated condition and it needs urgent attention. Similarly, a national conference was conducted in 2020 on the direction of Honorable High Court of Orissa, and in the conference it has been decided that comprehensive documentation, drawing and 3D scanning and photogrammetric survey has to be conducted to document thoroughly the structure before taking up any work. It was also agreed that an entry into the Jagmohan has to be made to see the actual condition and assess the actual condition, and also to know the exact geometry. Since the endoscopic studies which was conducted by CBRI is not providing the exact geometry of the structure, we cannot take any decision. The Archaeology of India has taken up steps to replace the plain stones which were there on this structure for the conservation and strengthening of the structure to the basic similar moldings, carvings and geometric patterns, which work has already been taken. All three works have been taken up in last 2-3 years, which was suggested in 2020 till 2022. Now we have conducted a comprehensive documentation to prepare a detailed record of the structure, exact measurements of external as well as internal, to understand the geometry and architectural pattern of the structure, and to pick up further work to make an entry into the Jagmohan, and by means of entering it, removing the sand which was filled inside the Jagmohan from 120 years ago by the Britishers. This is the present condition, and the pictures which we have seen earlier where there was some stones were missing was really in bad shape. But now you can see the Sun Temple Konark, which is a very good, this is photogrammetric image, bird's eye view. This is contouring, photogrammetric, again taking external measurements by photogrammetric measure. This is also contouring. This is orthoprojected images to understand the dimensions and the measurements of the temple. All stone blocks were measured, documented and numbered properly. These are few other documentations where we can see the details of the documentation, how the Amlak portion is there, Veki portion, the Sakama, everything was documented through laser scanning and photogrammetric methods. This is three-dimensional documentation. You can see how it has been done properly to understand and make the records of the things. This is another bird's eye view for documentation for taking up the detailed plan work. This is a detailed plan showing the sanctum as well as the Jagmohan. This is your sanctum. This white portion is there. It is the sanctum sanctorium, where the actual image of Lord Surya was kept. There it is not shown here, but there is a Ratna Singhasan made of chloritic cyst, well decorated, well designed. Yeah, you can see the internal geometry. Another endoscopic was done in 2021, wherein the details has come up. You can see sand has come up to this level. Earlier it was filled up to this level. This is Amlak and this is Beki. And from there it has come down to up to 17-18 feet down. All documentation has been completed by 2021 to understand and take up the sand removal work. These are the iron beams just beneath the Amlaka, which is also in distressed condition, which needs urgent attention. Another view of this hot iron beam, you can see there are certain stones which are in hanging position, which need urgent attention. And how we will do? Cannot do it from the external side. We have to make an entry, go inside, retrofit it and fix it properly by means of pinning, grouting and providing supports and new support systems to this superstructure. Now you see the sand. These are all pictures from the inside. These are the images which has been taken through endoscopic studies. Now, as decided in National Conference, we have taken up the conservation work of the Sun Temple Konark. In Sun Temple Konark, what we have decided, document it. I have shown you the complete documentation process. Further, it was decided to make an entry. For making an entry, we have also come up with the scheme which has been duly approved by DG Archaeological Survey of India and the Additional Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. The first thing what we are going to do is providing stable platform on the western side of the Jagmohan over the top of the Sanctum Sanctorum. Entry into the Jagmohan, we need a working platform on the top of first Pidha. Hence, we are creating a platform over there to work. This working platform will help us to make a hole inside the Jagmohan. But before making a hole, we are going to do a core study through a core drilling. We will make a 3 inches core drilling all through the wall from the west side and study the core, understanding the machinery of the structure. Unless or until we understand the machinery of this internal structure, we cannot go remove the stones. Then making an appropriate tunnel of 5 by 6 at the first pida level of the western side to make an entry into the Jagmohan. Once we enter into the Jagmohan, we will create a platform inside. First we will remove the sand above the base level of the tunnel. That is up to 7 to 8 feet of sand will be removed first in the first shot to make a working platform inside the Jagmohan for providing support to the upper superstructure from the inside and for conservation of the stones which has been fallen. After the entry, we will document it, further do the laser scanning and start conservation work. Then replacing plain stones with matching carving. You can see stone supports are there, which is we have removed it. In second picture, you can see we have removed it. Then we have selected stones. After selecting a stone, started matching carving, transporting it and fixing it. And you can see this plain stones were replaced by with the drawings. This was the original picture from where we have taken up, and this we have provided now. Thank you very much for inviting me to speak in front of August gathering. Thank you, sir, for inviting me again. Thank you very much.